Greetings from California. I'm just going to give a quick prophecy bite for what's on my mind. There's a proposed ceasefire today in Israel, which is very interesting. And so, if you know anything about the Middle East, that means that things are probably going to escalate before there is a ceasefire. It's supposed to be at 2 a.m. their time, which at the time of this recording is probably about 4 hours away. And so it's probably going to get heated there because Israel has to and has the right to defend themselves. And so they probably will and take out some major sites of Hamas. But anyways, I'm saying that because the people in the streets in Israel are right now not protesting, but demanding that Benjamin Netanyahu does not go along with the ceasefire, or he will not be the prime minister in this another election they're having. And so I find that very interesting because if you know anything about the current election cycle in Israel, they have yet to, solidify who's the next prime minister. Right now it's between Benjamin Gantz and Benjamin Netanyahu. This is their second, I think, go around with elections. They haven't determined anybody yet. And so, which is also interesting because a man by the name of Rabbi Yitzhak Kaduri, who was, died, I believe, in 2005, but he is one of the rabbis, which was the go-to rabbi for many of the young students back in those days. And so he was the one, kind of like a Billy Graham of Israel, a well-known speaker. And so many people would make this thought or this question, what does Rabbi Kaduri say? And so this particular rabbi years ago said that he found out who the Messiah was. And so he wrote it down in a memoir that was to be read after he died. And so they waited their proper time, read it on the internet, his note, and in his own writing, and he used the old Hebrew for writing that particular note because one of the symbols represents the cross, and so current Hebrew language does not use that particular letter in their alphabet because it resembles Jesus, and they don't agree with the Christian view of Jesus. And so, anyways, this man went on record and had it read that Yeshua HaMashiach, or Jesus of the Bible, is the Messiah, which kind of threw them in a little uproar. A lot of the older, respectable rabbis began to question his sanity, saying he's lost his mind, he's senile, etc., etc. Although he was very, very well together in his brain when he said that, and so I say that because also this same Rabbi Kaduri years ago had made a prophecy. Not that it's aligned with the Bible that we read, but he made a statement because he was asked, when would the Messiah come? And he made this statement that the Messiah would come at a time when there is no government in Israel. And then he even went a step farther to predict that it would be between two Benjamins, and therein lies why I'm mentioning this, that there's Benjamin Gantz and Benjamin Netanyahu, who still haven't come up with who's the prime minister. Right now, Benjamin Netanyahu, because he was the prior one, is still holding that public place. And so I find that interesting because we are living in the last of the last days. And so I made mention of this the other day in the Bible Bite that I did before. And so I'm thinking of this because currently even Putin is removing or has called for a removal of all Russian citizens from the Gaza area because he's very aware of the ability for Israel to defend itself. And so he knows they probably will take out Hamas and all the terrorists that are aiming to usurp the so-called ceasefire, which is a few hours away. And so this puts Israel in a position where they are going to be desperate for peace. And if you know anything about the Bible, Ezekiel 38 comes at a time when this nation Israel is at peace. God begins to do his work, and I encourage you to read it for yourself. But he talks about Gog Russia, Turkey, Iran, other nations, they're allied together to attack Israel. God does that, and then he wipes them out. And so that is on the horizon. Very interesting. Also, one that's on the horizon is Isaiah 17, which is the destruction of Damascus. And so this is, I think, very, very relevant, and it could happen very quickly. And I don't know if they're going to dovetail together, one going first and the other one following after, and it's somewhere in between that, or before that, or right at the same time. The rapture of the church is what I'm looking for. So anyways, I just look at these things, what's going on, and then, you factor in that the current leader of our nation has, and not only that, but even, the Senate, one of the Senate senators in charge of the foreign affairs has, when this Hamas started bombing Israel, he spoke out very clearly saying, hey, this is terrorism. And then, not even 10 days later, he's saying Israel needs to chill out and back out. And he was threatening to withhold the resources, the missiles that would help defend Israel. And so now Biden's even threatened Israel, saying you need to stop. And of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu, he said, well, hey, thank you for telling us, but we're going to defend ourselves. And they have that right. And so, and Abraham was spoken to by God many, many years ago in a promise that those who bless you, and your descendants, I will bless, and those who curse you, I will curse. I think part of the blessing that has been on our nation is we have been the strongest ally of Israel because of our Judeo-Christian ethic and roots. We support Israel. Any born-again Christian will realize that and validate that as their own personal conviction that we are behind Israel because of the importance they are to the God that we serve. And so all these things are happening right now. And so I just wanted to shoot off this, this YouTube, make you think about some things, what's happening right now in the news. And I mean, when you see things like this, look up, for your redemption is nearer than when you first believe. I'm telling you, Jesus is coming for his church. Be ready. If you're not ready, get your heart right. Stop being lukewarm. Stop being compromising. Stop playing games. It is too close to that wedding feast for you to be slipping into compromise right now. So until next time, keep on keeping on.